Hello, and welcome to Love and Light Healing with Colette Lopane Capella. I am Colette Lopane Capella, a licensed mental health counselor, Reiki practitioner, and EMDR therapist and healer. I am founder and director of New Day Vitality located in Larchmont, New York, where we provide a holistic alternative approach to psychotherapy and counseling. We offer individual, couples, group, and family therapy, as well as Reiki energy healing and EMDR therapy. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to bring this show to the public and the beautiful community of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. A little bit about me: I'm a wife, a fur mommy, an entrepreneur, and a true healer at heart. I've been practicing for many years and have had the profound honor of being a part of so many beautiful journeys to wellness and helping individuals live and be the best versions of themselves, mind, body, and spirit. This show is to bring together the mind, body, and spirit through love, light, wellness, and healing. This show will be informative, helpful, and fun. So sit back and relax and enjoy all the beauty this show will offer you. Each episode, we will bring on an expert guest to discuss important different topics that bridge the mind, body, and spirit, and the beauty of when it's all tied in together. Experts will vary from energy healers, teachers, nurses, crystal healers, psychiatrists, doctors, therapists, psychologists, psychics, mediums, yogis, and all healers, or light workers as I like to call us. On today's episode, we have the honor of having my very good friend, Lana Ferraro, special education middle school teacher. Welcome, Lana, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. I'm excited and honored to have you a part of this amazing opportunity and wellness to our viewers.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Academics, mental health, and wellness is essential to discuss among our youth today. And honored to have you a part of today. Welcome, my friends.
Thank you.
So let's get started. So tell the audience a little bit, and I know, but we want to share with everybody else, who you are, what you do, a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, well, I am a special education teacher for middle school. However, I have taught pretty much all grades, from second grade to fourth grade to sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. The only thing I really haven't done is high school. But I've done
all covered.
Yeah, I pretty much try them all. Yeah. But so pretty much right now I'm a middle school teacher for special education. I'm also a mother of a 16-month-old. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, a zoo. It's fabulous.
You have a lot. So I know you're a recent mother, a new mother, and you look amazing, obviously.
Thank you. You're so crazy.
So tell the audience a little bit how life has changed for you since having your firstborn.
Life has changed significantly. It's crazy how much life has changed being a mom. It's crazy because being a mom now, I never really understood what a mom was like back then. Now it's like, you have to juggle everything all at once. I have to juggle being a mom, I have to, be a fur mom, I have to juggle work, I have to juggle being a wife, and your most important job is really being a mother,
Your priority.
My priority is definitely being a mom. But it's probably the hardest job I've ever had, but it's the most rewarding job that I have ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I hear that often. It's the best gift God has given me.
Yes, I hear that often. That it's the most rewarding gift, the most rewarding place in your life.
It really is. I can't even explain how much I look forward to just coming home and seeing his face. It really gives me a smile.
Yeah, me too. I like seeing his face. There's obviously a lot. You're doing a lot. So how do you manage it all? Like work, mental health, and wellness for yourself. It's kind of like a juggling act, but how do you do it all?
A lot of wine.
That's a good one.
Oh, no.
Our viewers love that.
No, but with all seriousness, you really just have to make time for yourself. That's what I've learned being a mom and having so much to do, because I do work 2 jobs. It's not just teaching. I also waitress as well. And I'm, like I said, I'm a mom and I have the dogs and I have a wife. So it's a lot. But, you have to really take time for yourself, and you have to, exercise, get your hair done, get your nails done. I like to decompress every morning on the way to work and on the way home from work. I literally do not put the radio on. It's like my quiet time to like really think about how I want to start the day and like what happened at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's like my time.
Probably very grounding for you too.
Yeah, and I think everybody needs that. Like, it's to connect with oneself and to really analyze what's going on throughout that day.
Yeah, no, I love that. You made me think of this example I often share with my clients, and people giggle when I say this, but so when you get on an airplane, right, and the plane's about to take off, they do the emergency safety regulation stuff, right? You probably know
all
what I'm
the
going to
stuff
say.
that you're like, oh no, let's just take off.
Take off, right? So you're sitting there and they're presenting it, or you're looking through, like the pamphlet that explains it all, and the first thing they always end up saying is, God forbid there's an emergency, right, and the oxygen mask drops. What do? You put it on yourself first, and then you put it on your child or someone who needs more support or help.
Yes.
And I give that example all the time because I say, essentially, what we need to do is first take care of ourselves, be in a good space for ourselves, self-love, self-care, in order to even be able to take care of anyone else.
It's definitely true.
It's
you
true.
really, really have to take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you really take care of everybody else?
Exactly. Now you can use that example.
And being a mom, you really are a superhero.
Yeah.
Being a woman, I feel like we're just super women.
Yeah.
We're able to juggle so many things and be able to manage it all throughout the day. It's really amazing what we're capable of.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even being a mother, what our bodies are capable of.
Oh, 1,000%.
It's amazing.
You should have seen how big I was. It was crazy. I couldn't even get through the door.
But so, hearing more about like the self-care, I want to kind of find out from one teacher to another, what are some things that a teacher can do for their own mental health wellness? We know yours, like what can a teacher do?
Well, like I said, it's always nice to reflect, just to go in the day and have a goal of what you're going to do with each class, with each student, who you're going to focus on, what you're going to focus on. It's always nice to be planned out, because when you're not planned out as a teacher, it can be a little rushed and you don't really know what's going on for the day. But having a plan is always nice. And then at the end of the day, it's always nice to reflect on what went wrong. Because let's be serious, we're all humans.
Yep.
We all make mistakes.
Nobody's
Sometimes
perfect.
we'll plan a lesson and it won't go out as nicely as we wanted it to, and maybe we could have done this differently, maybe we could have done this differently. Maybe we should reflect and we should go back to that because they didn't get that. It's always something that it's nice for a teacher to just reflect and to know that we are doing a good job, because some people take that and they feel like they're failing.
Yeah.
But they're not failing. We're learning. Yeah. Everybody's learning. We're all teachers.
Yes.
You're a teacher, I'm a teacher. We're all teachers in itself. We're all learning at the same sense too. We're all students.
Yes.
So, you just have to realize that we're not failing.
Yes.
You have to have some confidence in yourself, because confidence goes a long way. Besides that, having just some time for yourself during the day, like lunch. I know sometimes we make time for students during lunch, who need extra help. But if you get that second to have lunch by yourself, enjoy that lunch by yourself.
Yeah.
Take that time to just breathe.
Yeah.
You've actually taught me a few great breathing exercises that I do daily. And it really does help me, just breathing, because sometimes you will get that class and, and that one student who won't stop talking, or, or the one person who just doesn't get it, and you just need to breathe, because like I said, we're all humans.
We're human, yep. And we're always evolving, we're always changing, we're always growing, I say that every single day. I said that earlier, right? Like I learn something new. We're always learning something new. We can't have the expectation that we should know or be the best at every single aspect of our life.
It's just physically impossible.
Yeah.
You have to just keep trying.
Just do your best. That's all you can do.
That's really all you can do. And you just have to believe in yourself, because that's, I guess, the biggest problem with people these days, is that they don't believe in themselves, which shows. And when it shows, the kids see it.
Yeah.
You really just have to have confidence.
Yeah, that self-esteem is so essential.
And that goes along with planning. Like in order to have confidence, you really just have to plan for the day.
Yeah.
So,
talking about the breathing exercise, I'm going to mention, so I know I've shared a lot of them with you, but sometimes I kind of share like the physiological aspect of the breathing exercise. I might have told you this already, but a lot of times when I tell people, hey, when you're anxious or you're overwhelmed, and you got to slow it all down, do a breathing exercise, and they kind of look at me like what is that going to do? How is that going to help?
It actually really does.
It changes everything.
It really does. It's crazy.
Yes. So sometimes I share like kind of the part of it, and I'm not a neuroscientist by any means, and I always share that with people, but to kind of create more of a depth connection with the physiological aspect is when you're doing a deep breathing exercise, it actually hits something in the back of your back. It's kind of like a long nerve, we're going to call it, and it's called vagus. Not Las Vegas, but Vegas, right?
You just made me start thinking of something
Party
crazy.
time, no, the vagus nerve. And what ends up happening is when it hits it, when you take that deep breath and it hits it in the back of your back, it circuits the parasympathetic nervous system, which immediately tells us, calm down, you're okay, you're safe.
Which makes total sense because it really works.
And it helps. So I
Yes.
tell people that sometimes too, and I wanted to share that with the viewers because that makes sense. Like, okay, so this really might help. This really might be a tool that I can have in my toolbox to pull out when, like the day you said, I'm in school, I did all this stuff. You know, it may not be working
And
out
it's
the way I want,
fast.
and it's quick and it's easy.
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes.
That's the thing, is that most people don't have time. So when you have just a few seconds, it's nice to just do those free breathing techniques. And it's quick, it's easy, and it works.
And it slows it all down.
Yeah.
Slows it down. So let's go into some school-related questions, okay? Let's talk about school, mental health, and wellness. In your personal experience, how important is mental health and wellness for your students?
Well, I believe mental health is important in every stage of life.
Yes.
From childhood and adolescence through adulthood. It affects how we think, feel, act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make our choices.
Yeah. So it's essential for me, for you, for your
everyone.
students, for the staff, for teachers, for the school.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you may have an effect on adolescents? This is a great question. On adolescents and their behaviors. What are some things that may affect some of their behaviors?
Let's see. I mean, peers definitely affect other peers. Social media is a big one.
Yeah. That is a big one.
Yeah, bullying. You know, some kids get bullied in school, and it's just not nice. And people don't realize how not nice it is, and then they'll laugh about it. And sometimes they're just joking around. And I had this conversation today, actually, with my kids because today actually starts Hello Week.
Okay.
It's a week of pretty much kindness. I've
heard of it. Yeah.
It's from the shooting that happened in Connecticut.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now I had this conversation with my kids today about, bullying. Sometimes we don't really understand that, we're joking around and that person may laugh and just to not feel dumb in that situation, but it might really bother them. It might really bother them, and they may go home and they may not be okay with what happened, and they might think like, oh my God, is my, are my pants too tight, or, is my hair ugly, or, should I get new sneakers, or, anything like that can really affect how a child actually learns in the school because they just shut down, so I asked my kids to be as nice as possible to one another and just to respect each other.
Yeah. It's funny because I think back at, back in the day, giving our age out a little bit here, but when we were young, your parents would say like sticks and stones will break your bones, but name calling will never hurt you.
Yeah.
And like that's so inaccurate, right?
It's very inaccurate because I feel like being punched, the pain goes away so much faster than something that's been verbally said to you.
That internally you have to kind of heal.
1000%. It's talked. It will literally go over and over and over in someone's brain, and that's what ends up happening to some of these people that lose it. It almost becomes too much. Like they can't cope with it anymore, and that's when they rash out and things happen. And it's very unfortunate when stuff like that happens.
Of course, and this is a really significant topic, and I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think, even like this, the self-care and the wellness, just overall, the support is so essential.
Yeah, just being kind to one another. That's really important, and it's not hard.
Yeah.
And that's what kids don't understand, is that being nice to one another is not a hard thing to do.
No, it's not. It's not. You're right. I like that. That was a good one. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit here, and I'm going to ask you, so do most adolescents, in your experience, have cell phones? Because I know that's a big thing right now, too.
Yes. It's not like how when we went to school, talking about our age again. Every child has a cell phone. I feel like from 5th grade up, it's the thing to have a cell phone.
Okay.
Which I understand because, they're there for an emergency. But, I just feel like they're for emergency purposes only. They should
Okay.
be there for.
Okay. Do you feel like they should be in school? And I mean, because I'm going to assume that it's got to be pretty distracting from academics, having a cell phone or if they're checking social media or something like that.
Yeah, no, I believe that they should be able to carry a cell phone.
Okay.
However, it should be unseen. You know, that's my personal opinion, is that it should be unseen because it can become a distraction. And then who's posting what and who's making fun of who during class and it goes on social media. You know, our generation, or this generation, not our generation, but this generation has really become so internet-based, where it's like everything can just be posted and it's online, and sometimes it can never be taken off. You know, once something's on the internet,
Screenshots,
it could be
something.
very hard to go away.
Yeah.
You know, so if they have the cell phone, they're able to go on their Instagram or Snapchat or whatever other social media there is these days. You know, they're able to take pictures of kids, or maybe some kids looking weird and they want to take a picture of them and then post them on Instagram or on Snapchat or whatever, you know.
Social media bullying.
And that's when it gets a little, and you know, it's not fair to the other students who come to learn. So that's why I feel that it should just be, you know, a no cell phone zone inside a classroom.
Sure.
You know, if you want to call your mom on the way home from school to let her know that you're going home, that's great. But inside of a school, it shouldn't happen.
Too
Just
much.
like when we go to work, we don't use our cell phones during class.
Sure.
You know, or during, you know, a session, because that's just not the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, so we're kind of like teaching our children to be acceptable in society as well, you know, and that's just not the right thing to do. We're not going to sneak cell phones. We're not going to, you know, be looking under the desk to see, you know, what's going on, because what's really going on? You know, like everybody is just so into these social media things that it's becoming a little insane.
Well, you know, it made me think of when we're talking about social media and bullying and that excessive amount of being on social media. There was a study that I read about a couple weeks back that with 1,500 people, in reference to social media platforms and excessive use on it, is actually correlated with this feeling of isolation and this inability to even interact in social situations.
Which
because
is
of this excessive
very
use.
true. I mean, even adults. You go out to a restaurant and you're sitting at a table and look around. Every couple is like one person's on their phone, the other person's on their phone. They're not socially talking to one another. You know, it's like there's no
Lost that
interaction.
connection. Yes.
You know, and I just feel like I really appreciate when I go to a restaurant and it says there's no Wi-Fi here, act like it's the 1980s and talk to each other. It is great.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just feel like, you know, I'm very lucky because I work in a school of my dreams. I love my job. I love the kids that I work with. They're, you know, for the most part, all of the students, teachers, everybody is amazing.
Yes.
And they're well respected and they respect everybody. But, you know, like I said, our school is a no cell phone policy. So like if you do need to get in touch with your child, which I understand, if there's an emergency, you call the office, within seconds, somebody's calling our classroom, you know, and
so
they're
it's
able
really
to
not
know. No, it's not really 100% necessary to have a cell phone in class. You know, like I said, keep it in the book bag all day, that's fine. If you need it for emergencies on the way home from school, you got to tell your mom you're going home, you got to school okay, you know, that I understand, because this world that we live in, you need to know what's going on with your, you know, especially now being a mom, I understand more like having a child have a cell phone right now, because if I had my child going to school by themselves, you know, I would want to just text me to make sure you got to school okay, or just, you know, text me and let me know when you're leaving school, so that I know that, you know, it takes you this much longer to get home. I know you're not dilly-dallying on the way home. You know, it's just a way to keep check on your child.
Yeah, I agree. And what would you say? What is the most challenging issues that our adolescents face now? Because I think we've touched base on some of this stuff, but what is one of the most challenging, or what are some things that are patterns that you see arise that are very challenging to our adolescents? I
really think it's the bullying. You know, it really affects me personally. Like, I don't like to see it, you know, just because I feel for the person. You know, because now that I'm an adult, you know, and we were there. You know, when we were younger, we were naive and ignorant, and we did some really not nice things too, you know, but now being an adult and I see what I really, you know, how I acted, you know, you kind of learn from your mistakes, and I tell that to my students as well. Like, you know, I was that person, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. I did some mean things growing up, but you know what, I wish I didn't, because I wish I can go back and apologize to every single person that I did something to, because it's just not nice.
Yeah.
And you really don't understand how that person's gonna go home and feel. And nowadays, it's even worse, because then they go home and it's on social media.
Yeah.
You know, like at least when we were growing up, we used to go home and it would be nothing.
Shut
you know,
down.
It would be shut down. We'd be like, all right, it's whatever. You know, and then we would go back to school the next day and it would be another round 2.
Yes.
But now it's like they leave school and they go home and it's all over social media and it's everywhere, and
It's continuous.
yes, and they don't get away from it, and that's when people just lose their minds.
It's
You know,
too
so
much.
it's just not nice.
You know, it's funny, every time I meet with an adolescent, because I see adults, I see adolescents, I see children, but most of the time when I'm seeing adolescents, one of the topics that I'm making sure or ensuring that we talk about is this bullying, or social media bullying, or even this excess amount of social media platforms and usage and all the negative effects it has on them. You know, another thing that you made me think of too just now was a lot of times I tell people with being on social media or screen time, being on their phone or watching the TV, whatever it is at night, to try to shut it off like an hour before. And one of the reasons is there's actually, so if you ever notice, our screens on our phones or even on the computer are almost like this blue fluorescent light. And it's shown, studies have shown that this blue fluorescent light actually escalates symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Sure, because let's think about social media. Is anybody going to post anything horrible on it?
Yep.
No. Anything that's going to be on social media is going to be so happy-go-lucky. Oh, this person's so happy. This person's... No. Let's be serious. They're only posting things that people want to see. They're not posting everyday things, like what's going on. You're not going to say, oh, I got into a fight with my boyfriend. Let's post it. Oh, I got into a fight with my mom. Let's post it. No, it's only happy things. So people get lost in that. And they're like, well, why isn't my life this happy? Why don't I have a boyfriend? Why don't I this? Why don't I look that good? Or, you know, and it becomes a cycle.
Exactly. I agree with you. I think it gives you this unrealistic expectation of what your life should be like, right?
1,000%.
And then you're comparing it to these others that are not realistic, and then what does that do? That hurts your self-esteem, that hurts your self-confidence, that hurts your body image. I mean, it's like a trickling effect.
Well, yeah, because you could imagine when we were growing up, all the girls were super skinny. Everybody had to be super skinny. Now, thankfully, there's women out there that are actually curvy. You know,
Curves are in.
You know, that they look beautiful. They look beautiful, full.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it should be. But you know, there are other, you know, reality shows, even, you know, stuff like that the kids see, and they're like, well, why aren't I like that? And why aren't I like this?
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
Yeah. They have to take a step back from that, I think, shut it down a little bit, and learn to love themselves for who they are.
Yep,
authentically.
have confidence in themselves. It's the number one thing in life.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to have confidence.
I agree with you, 110%.
You know, what's funny even about cell phones is that, you know, me and my husband, we decided that when we were with the baby, we're going to really try and limit our cell phone use. So we try to put our cell phones away, because we don't want our son to grow up seeing us on the cell phones and not think that he's important.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important for us as parents, for him to know that he is our number one.
Set that example.
Yeah.
So what's he saying? Yeah.
Because it came to the point where now he knows like what a cell phone is, and he always wants it, and he'll like pick it up and he's like, hello, and he'll like go to like hand it to me, and I'm like, oh God, we really got to stop with the cell phones, because he's really picking up everything.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a great piece of advice.
And that's the other thing that I want to bring up, because I just can't stop talking.
No, you're good.
You know, like I said, you know, he picks up things all the time. So we really, as parents, have to be mindful of how we talk and speak in front of our children as well. Because they pick up
like
everything.
Sponges.
They really are. And they pick up everything and they say everything. And sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. Like they really just use words that their parents use. And I'm like, that's not even the right way I'm like thinking in my head, that's not even the right way you say things.
But they learned from
they learn so much.
Well, they're sponges. They pick up on everything. You know, I also tell clients too, when they come in or I'm seeing the child, is like, they're like, oh, they heard us say this or this. They work off actually like nonverbal cues to emotions, almost like energies. So if mom comes home and she's stressed out and she's overwhelmed and she doesn't have to say one thing, and the child all of a sudden starts acting out, or the child all of a sudden is upset, I'll say they're picking up on that energy. They know, they're so innately intuitive to all of it.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, I think that was actually a really good part to kind of share too. It's important. So another question I have is and turning to parents a little bit, what can parents do to help their children succeed in the classroom? What can they do to better help?
I would say reach out to the teacher.
Okay.
I think any teacher would be okay with talking to a parent to, just like a marriage, how like a husband and wife work as a team.
Cohesive.
A parent should work with their teacher. You know how like I would never go against my husband in front of my child because I don't want him to think that we're not on the same team. I think a parent and teacher relationship have to be sort of the similar. We have to talk. I try to communicate with as many parents as possible. You know, if your child needs a little extra help, you know, I would like to see them more often. So I just feel like, you know, even being on top of your child, talking to your child. That's one big thing that I feel like is very important, is talking to your child. When they come home from school, how was your day? What did you do today?
What'd you eat?
You know, what did you eat? You know, who did you talk to today?
Yes.
Anything. Even if you might be annoying them, but at least you're socializing with them.
Yeah.
You're connecting with them. You're showing interest in their lives. You know, I feel like the more that parents show interest, the better that a student does, because then they know, like, wow, my mom's really watching me. She's really paying attention. She's going to be proud of me. You know, like, so the more that you involve yourself in your child's life and show that I am talking to your teacher on a daily basis, and I am, me and her, we work together as a team. Just letting your child know that we are a team helps us as teachers in the classroom
succeed.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's interesting while you were saying that too, saying that it's essential for parents to communicate with their adolescents or their young adults. And studies show, even reference to, let's say, so drinking or usage of drugs, illegal drugs or whatever it is. One of the biggest things, people will say, well, how do we prevent this, right? What do we do? And I say open communication.
Yes.
So they can feel safe and comfortable and confident coming to the parent saying, hey, this person told me they did this weekend or this.
Yeah.
And the parent being able to say, I'm not afraid, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this and work through it. And let me talk about the dangers, the consequences,
exactly.
all that stuff.
This is all life skills. We're teaching your child life skills throughout the lives. We're trying to let them know, like, okay, we have a problem. Let's fix it. What can we do to fix it? Like if you're not doing well in a class, all right, what's going on in that class? How can we fix it?
How can we better support you?
Let them answer. Let them say, well, maybe I can go to my teacher during lunch, or maybe I can go to her after school, or maybe I can ask her if I can make up this assignment or redo it. I am sure any teacher that you ask, their main purpose is to make you successful. So they are going to love that you are going up to them, that you're showing the effort, that you're trying.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any teacher not saying, come, let's talk, let's figure this out.
Yeah, that's very significant. I agree with you. So I got a loaded question for you, and this is my loaded question that I present to, don't be afraid, not too loaded, but it is, that I present to everybody sort of at the end of the segment, because I think it's a great question, and we're all going to learn and develop from your response.
Okay.
I'm sure of it. So if you had to choose one piece of advice for this generation, just one piece of advice, what would you share? What would it be?
Let's see. I would say, be nice.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Yeah, that
you know
movement.
what? And I would, like I said, I was telling my students that this morning. Choose a person. Make their day. Pick one nice thing about that person. Your hair looks really nice today. Oh, I really like those shoes.
Oh, yeah.
One thing. Just one thing. It could be, I really like these bracelets. Where'd you get them from? Just showing interest in somebody can really change someone's day.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what that does to somebody throughout the day.
Yeah.
Just gives them that confidence, that self-esteem, to know that that person actually cares about them.
And they're being acknowledged.
Yeah.
Sure. That's funny. I always say that to people too. I'm like, everybody's always like, oh, Colette, you're so, well, you know this. Colette, you're so nice. You're so friendly. You're always smiling. You're always happy. You're always connecting with people. And I say, like, if I walk into, let's just say Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or something, right, and grab a coffee, I say, just smiling.
Yes.
At that person, just smiling could make their day, could change their day from a terrible day
1000%.
to one of the best.
Yes, or even saying I appreciate everything that you're doing, or just showing appreciation. Thank you.
Connecting, yeah.
Kind words.
So this went quick because it was awesome. But thank you, Lana, so much for being a part of today's episode. It was so much fun, and I'm truly grateful and honored.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And I also want to say thank you to our beautiful audience.
Yes.
We're happy and privileged to have them a part of today's show.
And I hope they learned as much as I could give them.
I learned. Well, what did we say before? We're always learning.
You're
Every day is an
always learning.
opportunity to learn and to grow and develop in yourself. So until next time, you know my favorite line.
Oh,
Love and light. Namaste. Thank you.